Hi, it's Paige and welcome to Tip Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you how to make a watermark brush for your social media images, and it works just like this. Bam! So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to create the file for our watermark brush. I just chose a simple rectangle like this with my Instagram handle. To do this, you just want to go to File, New, and you're going to create a new document. I'm going to create a document that's 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels wide by 100 pixels high, and then the resolution is 300. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Once I do that, I want to fill my image with 50% gray. So you just go to Edit, Fill, and then under Contents, you want to make sure that it says 50% gray. And then just go ahead again and click OK. So this will fill your entire background with 50% gray. And the reason we do this is because we want our brush to be transparent. So if I were to click the brush over here, you can see that it has a little bit of transparency to it, which is nice because part of the background image shows through. So now I'm going to take my type tool, which is the T, and we're going to just type our handle, our Instagram handle, or our website, or whatever we want our brush to say in this area. Oops. And once we have that done, we want to make sure that this text is white. So I'm just going to highlight this, and I'm going to make sure that my text is actually white. Then I can use my Move tool to make sure that this is centered and how I want it. I can make my type a little bit bigger by pressing Shift down on my keyboard and using these corners to size my type up. And when I have this the way I want it to look, then I'm going to go ahead and make my brush. So to make a brush, it's really simple. You just go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. And we're just going to call this Watermark. And then click OK. So now if I go to my brush panel, you'll see that I have a brush that looks just like this. And if I go back to my image that I want to watermark, it's really easy to just use this like a stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this watermark that I already did. The most important thing to remember before you use your brush on your image is to make a new layer. So this new layer is what we're going to use our brush on. So to size my brush, I can right click and I can make my brush bigger or smaller here. Or I can also use the right and left bracket keys on my keyboard. So the left bracket key will make your brush smaller, the right bracket key will make your brush bigger. And once you have the brush sized the way you want it, just kind of click it down wherever you think it's going to look good, and just click like a stamp. So there's my brush. And now, since this brush is on its own, the stamp is on its own layer, I can use my Move tool by pressing V on my keyboard or just going over here to the toolbar and clicking it. And I can move this around and center it up a little bit more until I get it how I want it. And so this is really quick and easy, and it allows you, once you edit your images, you can go ahead and save your image for Etsy or whatever, and then when you're making your social media images, maybe you're going to add, maybe I was selling this notebook and I wanted to add some text, new notebooks in the shop, and then I can go ahead and stamp it, so if my image gets shared via social media, people know where it came from. And so this is just a nice, easy way, because we don't want to watermark our Etsy images because that distracts from the buyer experience, but it's perfectly okay to watermark your social media images like this, and this makes it really easy, so you're not having to create this little graphic every single time. You can just use it as a stamp. So once you have your stamp made or your brush made, you can go ahead and save your brush so you're sure to always have it, because sometimes when you close out of Photoshop, if you update Photoshop or whatever, sometimes the brushes that you have personally made aren't going to be there. So there's a quick way to go ahead and save this. So if you ever go into Photoshop, and the way you see all your brushes, if you click on your brush and then you use this little thing here, this will show you all of your brushes. So I have down here some brushes that I've created. And here's the brush that we just created most recently. And if you ever go into Photoshop and you're looking for your brush that you've created and it's not there, you can just load it back in there as long as you save it. So to save the brush, you want to go to Edit, Presets, and then go to Preset Manager. And then you'll see down here at the bottom, here's the brush that we made. And if you ever want to see these bigger, you can make a large list, and it'll give you a large list, and you can see this and you can see what you've named all of these. So here's the Watermark brush that we made. And we're going to just click on this one and we're going to go to Save Set. And then you can navigate to wherever you want and you can just create a new folder. I'm just going to save this on my hard drive. I usually save everything on my computer in my external hard drive, so I always have it and I can switch between computers if I need to. And we could just call this my brushes. And then you can just name this social media watermark so you know what it is. And then go ahead and save. So now, if I ever go into my brushes and I don't see my brushes there, I can go to my brush tool here. I can click down here and this little gear, which is for settings, we can go to Load Brushes. And now if I go to that folder where I save my brushes, here's my social media watermark brush. So that way you're always sure to have your brushes. So if I click open, it's just going to load it in there, but it's already loaded, so it just has a double copy of it. Another great thing, now that you know how to make brushes, you can also make brushes for other things as well. So here is a cute little brush that I made with some hearts, and I'll show you how that works. And these are really nice. They work just like stamps. So now if I wanted to add some little hearts to this, I can go ahead and click this pink color here, and I could stamp on some hearts onto my image just to add a little bit of flair to it. So you can add some hearts. And then I've also made a brush that is this one here, and this is a fun brush to use too. This looks like little what is that stuff? Like little tape. And so this is a really fun brush too. And so you can make brushes for different things, and it's a lot of fun. So you can have fun with this because basically all you need to do is just create your document and it will make your brush. Now your document has to be in grayscale. So anything that's black is going to be completely opaque. So it's going to show as like 100% the color. So like these hearts, for example, if I zoom in on my heart brush, this heart stamp here, so you can see how the hearts have a little bit of a different color. So this heart in the middle is it's a little bit more transparent than the outside. That's because I put gray inside of here, and then this heart was 100% black. So anything that shows up white doesn't show up at all. So if you go over this product shop pop here, you can see my text was white, so that makes this 100% transparent. So when you're making your image, you just want to make sure that you are using shades of gray. And if you are a member of my group, I am going to be loading these brushes in the group files for you to download. So if you haven't joined my group, it's Product Shop Pop on Facebook. Make sure that you join and you can get these free brushes that I made and learn how to make your own brushes. And I share lots of tips, lots of editing videos, and I also answer your questions in the group. So it's a great place to be. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.